Live.
We are. We are live. We are here. Hello, everybody.
What's up?
Hi, everybody. We're here. We made it. Yay. Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to Wildest Plus, the Bake Shop Irregulars. I'm Brian. I'll be the game host for this evening. We are going to be playing a little fantasy game that we cooked up in our Natural Geekery podcast, Wildest Plus podcast lab. It is a powered by the Apocalypse fantasy hack, and we are here to play that hack in the world that was created during our sessions with the podcast, and we had so much fun with it, we just decided to invite more people to come play. So hi, welcome aboard. We're going to go around, introduce everybody really quick. Everybody introduce yourselves, tell us who you play, and then we will get into the game. Let's start. Let's start with Erin because she just took a drink, so I have to start with her.
Yeah, did that on purpose. Hi, everybody. I'm Erin, or Mal, or any other various number of names, depending on where you know me on the internet. I may or may not respond to them. Tonight, I will be playing Mirabella Rosehip Heartblossom, the social mancer, for lack of a better term, whose pronouns are she, her.
Awesome. Let's go with Kirsten.
I am playing Valinaloro. I go by Kirsten or V. Either way is fine. Valinaloro is a rogue, and their pronouns are they, them.
Courtney.
Hi, I am Courtney, or the Court Couch, and I am playing Phoebe Leandri, the Furbolg librarian, and her pronouns are she, her. I don't mind.
Katie.
Hello, I am Katie, or KZR Music on the interwebs, and today I will be playing Lumi, the Kenku Bard, and she, her, for myself and her.
And Dr. Hip.
Howdy, I'm Dr. Hip, and I'll be playing Misha Van Dyne, the human bard, female bard. She goes she, her. She is an herbalist, tree-hugging hippie. And she wears a flower crown.
She does. Very good. Okay. Just real quick, we want to let everybody know that we'll mention this again at the end of the show. We do have a Discord. It's down. It's one of the first links. If you scroll down below the stream, you can join us on Discord. We are all on there. We try and chat everybody up and check in with everybody pretty much every day. And you can join us. And as we get further along in the story, I think we're going to have some special things for Discord folks as well. So welcome aboard there. Please join us. Are we ready? Ready to begin? Ready to go? I've been waiting. It's a full table. Courtney, thanks for being here. Let's do this. So previously on the Bake Shop Irregulars, after realizing they needed assistance with an artifact that came into their possession, the Bake Shop Irregulars consulted the local Drachenfell Surveyors Guild for some assistance. They were then sent to talk to Dwarven sage Kilo Ornis, a sage in the main library of Drachenfalls. Outside the library, they came across the Kenku bard Lumi. Valen realized that it appeared Lumi was being targeted for some reason by the Thieves Guild, and the group worked quickly to get Lumi inside the library, away from the Thieves Guild, with some very elegant distractomancy. Introductions were hastily made, and Lumi came along with them for the time being. I think more out of Kenku curiosity, maybe? We're not sure. Upon meeting Kilo, he heard their story, and after seeing the rods, identified them as the fabled scroll rods of Viz Kadesh. He told them of the rods' vast history and the dangers of possessing them. And just as he was finishing, there was a knock at the door by Kilo's assistant. Upon hearing someone else was urgently wanting to speak to him when he was not expecting anyone, He whispered something to his assistant and then revealed a secret door to the group. With a gruff smile, Kilo Ornis looked at the party and said, "Let's go get a drink." And that is where we will start. He has just touched the button behind the hidden button behind the large dragon skull, and the door has opened up, and he motions and says, "Let's go get a drink," and disappears down the hallway. What does everyone do?
In the heavy, I'm gonna wait as close to the door as I need to make sure everybody else gets out of the room.
From down the hallway, you hear, "Are you coming?"
Lumi follows.
Okay.
Misha's going.
Look, if he gets far enough down the hallway and forgets that I offered to pay, then I'm not mad about this. Mira goes too.
And Valen will bring up the rear.
Valen follows suit. Okay. So you're in a narrow, wood-planked, secret tunnel that goes for a pretty fair distance in a straight line. And then it's very... Valen, you're probably a little hard-pressed in here. You may be walking like diagonally, because it's pretty narrow. Kilo is actually having to walk
like I'm doing the limbo as opposed to leading. No, I'm kidding. It's stupid.
It twists, turns a little bit, passes by a few other narrow doors, and what could probably be, you can tell from this side, are secret doors. And then it goes down a very narrow, rickety stairs that kind of creaks and groans as you go down it, but it holds everyone. You kind of wonder as you hit it, and you kind of have to be careful as you step down because it's really tiny planks, and so you can't, just have to take your balance and work your way down them. It goes a little bit further. The light in here is really dim, but you can see it. You're not sure where the light's coming from. It might be ambient light from somewhere, but it's just a really low light. Like kind of light you'd have in an attic, but there's no windows here. You move down that way a little bit. It smells really dusty in here. And it almost feels like a really cramped attic space as you move along this secret passageway. And you get to a spot where it widens. And at the widened section, there are two doors. And in this widened hallway, there are various bits of graffiti and marks on the walls. There's like a weird arcane sigil. It looks like there's maybe a signature. There's maybe another signature. There's like an arcane mark over here at 3 feet high. And it's kind of all over this widened hallway section. And he stops and waits for everyone to catch up. And he points to the marks and says, This is what we jokingly call the Hall of Marks, because anyone that comes through here is allowed to put their name or their mark on this wall. So feel free if you want. I mean, you probably won't be back here again, but it's up to you. We're going to go this way. And he points to the other door. There's a door that's along the right-hand wall where you've been walking. And then there's another door further down in front of you.
Really quick,
that we closed the door behind us.
Ah, okay.
I need a roll.
Oh, God, we forgot anyway.
Yeah, I need to roll.
All right, so
Lumi
as a Kenku bard, or as a bard, has a move called I Saw That Coming. So you can roll this, and it will allow you to be somewhere that you need to be, if you get a good enough roll, where you need to be throughout the game. So it's a plus wits, roll plus add your wits.
Oh! Get to add things.
Yeah. So roll 2 dice and add your wits.
Okay. Hey, better than last time.
Okay.
9.
That is better. Okay. You get to hold one action, which means what that hold means is that you can use that action to be at the right place at the right time if something should come up. And it's totally your choice. You can interrupt gameplay to say that.
Thanks. Sorry about that.
No, I got so excited to get started that,
Yeah, and I didn't want to interrupt our exposition into the tunnels. So.
Right.
The secret tunnels.
Lumi will look at all the things and see if there's anything interesting or like if there's any fun names or anything at bare minimum. If not, also write her name on the wall, because why not?
Valen's gonna put their name on the ceiling, the tallest part of the ceiling.
Yeah, you could reach the ceiling.
I assume there's a pen or something. No.
Well, you would have to have a pen.
Can I do it with my dagger?
Yes, of course. If you could, there's probably other carved marks through here too. So yeah.
So Mira is gonna take a step back and like press herself against the back of the wall and see, just kind of like take a look at everything and kind of like draw a little frame around it so that she can try to commit it to memory. And while she starts doing this motion, she's actually gonna tap into a little bit of her mind magic.
Oh yes, go on.
To see if she can remember all of the different, like just take a mental snapshot, an accurate mental snapshot of all of the different signatures on the walls, so that she can maybe draw and research them later.
Oh snap! Okay. So that is so it's going to use magic. You've already determined what you're trying to do. You've set your goal. That is a roll plus mystic, and we'll see what happens.
That's a 10.
Okay, I'm never gonna
level up. Ever.
Okay, so what are there any visual effects to this? Is this just all mental magic, like almost like a psychic kind of magic that doesn't show any effects? Your call.
Well, it's not a very big spell, and it doesn't have a lot of effect on anything other than Mira, so I think there might be like a little tiny bit of like anime transformation girl glitter coming from her fingers as she does the like picture taking frame thing.
Okay.
Like she might switch to this a couple times, and there might be like like a little bit of shimmer, like Disney Channel fairy godmother casting a spell kind of.
All right, I love it. So
but nothing too like super overt. Like you'd have to really be looking at her to catch it, but she's not trying to hide it.
Yeah, so you can totally do that. You're able to pull it off. You think you've got a pretty good mental image recorded in your brain with your magic that you'll be able to recall later. And you do it so well that you're almost positive Kilo doesn't notice because he's moving on to the other door. And other folks in your group may notice. I'll leave that up to them. But as far as you pulling it off and doing it without like all slick, not a problem. So make a note because that could be important later. Well,
I mean, it wasn't going to be until I did that. And now it is.
Yes. Yes, and.
You're welcome. See? I rolled great on that too. I'm never going to level up.
You're never going to level up. It's just going to happen. Kilo, while anybody else, so Katie and, Lumi and Valen are going to make marks in some way or fashion. Anybody else?
Then I was going to look to see if there's anything interesting.
Yeah. We'll say that you can see, like, are you looking for like names or like cool sigils? Because there's both here. There's like, and it's just kind of everywhere.
Sigils would be cool. Any cool sigils. And then just like for like aesthetic that she thinks is cool. And then the only like names she'd recognize is anyone like real popular. She wouldn't know anybody because she's not from the town, so she wouldn't know anybody there. But if it was like a really famous like traveling bard or like something, she'd know that, but she wouldn't know like locals. So yeah, take with that what you will.
I'm gonna roll on the word wall for this because I think this is kind of fun. So Katie, yes. Can you roll? Can you give me a percentage roll? And I'm gonna roll. You'll roll the adjective, and I'll roll the noun. Ooh.
Okay, I'm terrible at percentage. So I'm going to tell you what's on the dice, and I think I'm right. I think I rolled a 30.
Okay, that's what you rolled.
I have a 3 and then 2 zeros.
Yeah, that's a 30. You're
Is that a
good.
30 or is that a 3?
Ooh. Okay, so the word wall gave us forgotten charm. So, forgotten charm.
Somebody who
It's-
used to be really popular, but really kind of fell out of popularity as a
Yeah.
bard.
Yeah, I mean, like, who could forget our grandparents' favorite half-orcish, bard, Pelvis Hezri.
All right, I'm writing that down. Pelvis Hezri, perfect. He was a performer, wasn't he? Pelvis Helfrey.
Yeah, he was. And then there was that great big war, and he did all the recruiting for it, and then, like, he came
blue
back
shoes.
and... Right.
No, I
right,
think it
his
was- yeah.
red leather shoes.
Red leather shoes.
Oh,
Red leather shoes.
that's right.
And next
Yeah.
to it is a not carved, but written in very dark ink, but you can see next to the name there is this lightning bolt. Like a lightning bolt sort of charm with feathers around it. Like little wings around the lightning bolt.
Nice.
Might be important later. So cool. You definitely see that. Anybody else?
Yes.
Okay.
Misha is going to carve. It looks like a circle, but in the circle will be what looks like a couple of pine trees, like
Okay.
a gateway, in like a henna tattoo. And
Okay.
she's going to quickly do that, and then glance around and see if she sees any other druid craft type of symbology, something that would be druid only,
Okay, so for
specifically druid.
that, I'm going to go to our narrative oracle. Are there other druid things here? That is a yes. You find at least 2 other druid-like sigils here.
Thank you.
One is like a paw print with circles around it. And then another is a leaf with, there's a leaf with pine trees in the leaf and then flowers on either side of the pine tree.
All right, thank you.
You got that. So while you have been doing this, your dwarven sage friend has pulled out a small, about the size of a golf ball, like a little orb of, like, looks like crystal, which he holds up, whispers something, and it starts to emit a glow. And he goes to the door. He pulls a key out of a small waist pocket, and he turns a key in the door. And then he turns to wait for everybody to be done with their various stuff. I meant to ask, Valen, are you doing anything? Are you just carving your name or a symbol, or? I can't hear
Valen
you.
would
Oh, there you go.
particular.
You're good.
I'm sorry, I didn't know I cut out. I don't think Valen would particularly care if there was another rogue's name carved there, because
Okay.
I was here. It's not that interesting to Valen. There's no significance, I guess.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, so just chilling, waiting, making sure nobody comes down the tunnel.
Yep. Seems pretty quiet the way you have come. So you guys finish up. He unlocks the door and comes in. Now, as you enter this room, what appears to be a small storeroom in the basement of the library. And it's purposefully looks like it's not been touched in years. There is a door here, but then there's also another side door that is another secret door that he opens up, and there's a stairwell going down. You take that down, as long as everybody's still following him, and he continues onward. And he explains that the hallway goes under the street, and we're going to go over to another small area so when we exit, we won't be anywhere near the library. And so another tunnel goes under the street. This tunnel is very different. It's a little bit more damp. It smells a little bit more moldy. It's not as narrow either. It's not as pressed upon on your shoulders. But the only light here is the dim light coming from the little crystal ball he has. So everybody's staying together, and as you're walking, people in front of you are just silhouettes. And Valen, you're in the back. You're probably feeling pretty happy to be in the dark.
Those are my friends, so do I not have to roll since we're not under pressure? Just hypothetically.
For what?
If we were to get attacked.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Shadows
these
are your
pockets are just
friends.
instantly emptied. Like, suddenly Valen's arms are, like, full, and we're like,
Yeah,
what the
everybody just, boom. Everybody loses all their stuff.
I was just like, just keep it in practice, guys.
Yeah,
Just
that-
don't worry about it. It's fine. I'll put it back later.
So
Dark in the dark.
you cross into the street, you take another set of stairs, back up, go through kind of a similar procedure. He comes to another unused storage room, which has 2 doors. He opens one door, and before you know it, you're in a side alley of a 1-story nondescript building. And you can see the library from where you're at. I believe this was more like evening at this point. I think it was late afternoon by the time you guys got there and talked to him after you had gone back and gotten your items. Now, I meant to ask this earlier, but the scroll rods are currently in Misha's quiver, correct? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm just asking for a friend. That's all. But no, they're
As far as you know.
they're kind of important, so I want to make sure I remember exactly where they are.
We know where they are. Don't worry about it. If it's relevant, we'll let you know.
Okay. Ornis looks at all of you, nods, and points over, and you can see just at the end of the alleyway there's a little opening, and you can see the front facade of the Inkstone Tavern. It's a small walk away. And you guys start heading over there. Is anybody going to do anything as you walk over?
I would like to see, since we're outside the library now, can I spot any of the members of the Thieves Guild that were causing issues before?
Are you doing a cursory glance, or are you really going to stop and give it a really hard scan?
I think hard scan.
Okay.
Do I need to roll for that?
Yeah. Let's do, it's not act under pressure. Read a bad situation. Roll plus
Bad
wits.
situation? That's not good. That is an 8.
Okay. You may ask one question regarding the situation.
Other than WTF?
Where are the members of the Thieves Guild located?
Ooh.
That are not me.
Okay.
I'm right here.
So for that, so given where you are and what you're looking around at, it appears you're the only Thieves Guild member here. Like, you do not see any, you don't see any, like, you don't have the ability to see into shadows and things like that, right? You can't, see invisible. Not that they're
Well, they
invisible.
probably have
Just
the
using it as
shadows
an
through
example.
your phone, too.
But you are pretty sure that there are no members of the Thieves Guild around here that you recognize as you walk to the tavern. You appear to be in the clear, is the answer there. Anybody else? Cool. Okay, so you guys walk towards the tavern. We're going to cut over to Courtney's character. Caught you off guard, didn't I?
Oh my.
Quick cutscene. Hi. So, I believe Phoebe it's getting late in the day. It's late afternoon. Phoebe is in her small library that's set in sort of a lower income quarter of the city. Can you go ahead, give us the name of this place and tell us a little bit about it, and then sort of what is your character doing in this library?
So I think the library would be called the Fangs Respite.
Ooh.
the Fangs Respite Library. I feel like most things are dragon themed in Dragon Falls, and it's just kind of, it's an old name that someone put up there, and
Nice.
it's just stuck. So the Fangs Respite Library. There are lots of other libraries. This one just has a fun name because it's in a different part of the city. It may have previously been a bar. Who knows? And so she is currently going through and trying to somewhat organize, especially the draconic section of the little library that's there. What would be called a library started off as various dragon researchers forgetting their books after the mating season was over, and they would just keep them there for people to start.
Okay.
And then once the city decided that they were going to begin this social endeavor for tax write-off purposes and not for actual social betterment, this became a library. And Phoebe is working very hard and getting a lot of support from Kilo Ornus to provide the local community with better library options. So currently she is kind of trying to better organize the draconic section because she's recently got a new shipment of some slightly more current books, and hoping that she can finally complete some of the different volumes of different series that are available, where we only have like volumes 1 and 3 of 7.
Right. Okay. Now, is there, I have a note here on my notes from your character. I think it was from session 0. Is there a romance novel section? I'm pretty sure there's a romance novel section, right?
There is a
That
small
Phoebe-
but thriving romance novel section.
Okay, all right.
That Phoebe herself takes great pride in. It's kind of towards the front.
Okay.
There
Okay.
are a couple of members of the community who have actually perused a bit, though no one has yet rented one,
Right.
borrowed one from the library yet.
Okay.
I think a lot of them are like, it's free. It's free. She's like, yes. They don't necessarily believe her just yet.
Okay. Can you give us give us a description of Phoebe? What do we, as the camera comes in on the library and watches her, she's working. What are we seeing?
She's in a bit of a like simple but well-made dress, and over that are her library robes, which is basically just a floor-length vest that is orange with red and gold trim. She is a 6-foot-tall deer furbolg with tawny brown fur and little white spots kind of fluttering all over her body like little freckles. She has white hair that is put back into a simple braid to keep her hair out of her face. And she has a little black button nose. Her fingernails are also black by design. She's kind of based off of a white-tailed deer. And ultimately, she kind of moves a bit, like, there are moments where she moves very gracefully as she's, like, putting the books away. And then she trips over her own leg and, like, goes...
Okay.
And has to, like, reorient herself. But then she goes back to, like, gently putting the books away. And she goes over to the desk and, like, writes things down and looks outside. She's like, oh, wow, it's actually getting pretty late. So she goes over to the door and she flips the sign from open to closed. And but she still goes back to work.
Okay. As you're going to flip the sign, you go like, oh, it's time to close up. And you flip the sign and you start to head that way. You haven't been to the front of the store in a little bit because you were working on the draconic section. You hear some like snickering and giggling from the front of the store. And like some, no, it's further back. And as you walk up, as you hear this commotion, you see 3 teenagers, 2 humans and maybe a half elf. They are in their mid to late teens, and they are snickering and looking at what you can probably quickly surmise is a juicy part of one of the romance novels. And they've kind of like, they're almost threatening to bend the spine on the book, and like they're just like completely disrespecting the book and just like laughing and pointing and like
she very quietly walks up behind them,
Okay.
hoping that they won't notice her.
No, they are enthralled and excited.
Does she recognize any of them?
I don't know. Does she? What do you think?
I think that maybe she recognizes one of them, but the other two not quite.
Yeah, one of them you've seen around, and he's obviously brought them in. Like he snuck a glance at one of these romance novels and thought it was and then he went and got his friends.
Mm-hmm. She walks up very quietly behind them and kind of like leans in and she's like, "Do you have your library card?"
They jump and like, oh no. They turn around. One of them just takes off out the door. The half elf just takes off. He just runs off. He's so scared he just runs out the door. And the little bell like chimes as it goes off, and the other two are just sitting there. The one that his name is Nenny. Nenny looks at you and is like, yeah. And he's like fumbling for a pouch. He's dropped the book he was holding. And the other friend kind of reaches down and like picks it up and is looking really nervous. And Nenny presents the card.
I take the card and I also ask for the book.
The friend kind of just holds it up. And he's like nervously looking at Nenny.
I take them both over and then I walk over to the desk and I come.
We probably, it's getting late. We probably should go. We probably got to go.
I thought that you wanted to take this book. You seemed so enthralled by it.
Oh.
It seemed, and she goes to where they were. And she's like, "You seem to have gotten pretty far into it. I thought you might want to finish it. Or are you not good at finishing things?"
No, it's okay. I don't need. No, I can. I'll just read it here. I'll come back tomorrow and read it here.
All right then.
Yeah.
You know, Nenny, something hilarious. Your mother was in just the other day asking about this book too. It's so wonderful to see children and their parents having similar hobbies.
His face just kind of drains of color, and he's like, "Uh-huh."
Maybe you can talk to her about it, especially the juicier part.
I don't think so, Miss Phoebe. I don't think that's probably a good idea. So we're gonna go. I think it's dinner time. Thanks. Bye. Bye. And he's like backing away.
Their card.
Oh, he comes back and grabs the card like quickly, snatches it out of your hand.
Get home safe, all right?
Yeah. Okay. And the other his buddy just takes off, and he's like nodding and walking backwards and.
I just smile and watch him as he walks out.
All right.
Eyes are not even blinking, just watching him as he leaves with this kind of unsettling smile on her face with teeth. And if you've ever seen a deer smile with teeth, it is unsettling.
Yeah. I'm thinking there's a certain look that a deer can give you with its eyes that's slightly terrifying. Yeah.
Watching him leave.
Okay.
We call that the "my cousin is a moose" look.
Yes.
So
as you
dusts off the book.
Go ahead.
She dusts off the book and checks the spine, and she flips through it to make sure that no pages have been ripped or ripped out.
It looks okay. Okay.
I give it a dust, and I just kind of look at the book, and I'm like, sorry that happened. She walks back over to the shelf and shelves it in its proper place and gives it a pat.
The door opens again as you're doing that, and what you know immediately from the outfit is a city courier walks in. And are you Phoebe?
Yes, that's me. She walks right over and
he hands you a small rolled up piece of parchment. Have a good evening.
Do I need to sign for this?
No, and he just leaves.
Okay. So now she walks over and flips the sign.
Okay. You flip the sign over?
Flip the sign over to closed.
Yep.
And then I'll walk over to the desk and take a seat comfortably, and then I'll open the parchment.
So it is a note in the typical Drachenfell courier fashion kind of format. Think like a telegram, but more handwritten. And it says, Kilo Ornis requires your presence at the Inkstone Tavern as soon as you can arrive.
Wow, good thing I just closed.
And you've not heard from Kilo in a while.
It's interesting. She folds up the paper, puts it in her pocket, and then she kind of she takes her rounds, basically. She makes sure that everyone is out of the library. She, turns off the different illuminations that help people to see in the dark. And then she carefully and kind of lovingly takes off her scribe's robes and gently puts it where it belongs on, there's a little hook where she has a hanger. She puts it at the end of the day. She doesn't want it to get outside and get dusty.
Right.
And then she, she shoves her hands down her dress to make sure she looks presentable. Maybe she looks in a little mirror, checks her hair. And then she, she grabs her keys and a little reticule pouch purse that she has. And then she'll, after she's done her rounds and everything and make sure that all the lights are off and whatnot, she walks outside and she locks the door behind her. I imagine it's either an actual physical lock or the scribal order lock that is maybe a magical lock, one of the two.
Let's
maybe
go.
both.
Yeah, I like that. Let's go with the scribal order lock. That's cool.
Yeah. And so there's a specific sigil that she makes with her thumb to lock it behind her.
Nice. Okay.
And then she gets down, looks both ways before crossing the street because she's very safe. And then she begins her walk to the tavern.
And you know that the Inkstone Tavern it's a tavern that is near the main Drachenfell library. It is a known place for scholars and writers and performers and artists.
Right in.
Yeah, and it's a known place to come, have a drink, work on your manuscripts, read a book. It's a very mellow place, pretty chill. Who knows what he wants to talk to you about, but you know the place, you've been there before. And you can make your way over there with no problem. So the Inkstone Tavern, as the other group walks up and into it, is a quaint and charming establishment located in the heart of the neighborhood near the main city library. It's a modest two-story structure with a classic brick facade adorned with wooden shutters painted in a deep blue hue. A simple wooden sign hangs above the door bearing the image of a quill and an inkwell. As you enter the tavern, the aroma of freshly baked bread and brewed coffee fills your senses. The interior is cozy and welcoming, with wooden tables and chairs arranged around a central fireplace, like a circular central fireplace. Shelves of books line the walls, providing reading material for the patrons. There are a few tables obviously set aside for table games, and oddly enough, there is a dartboard in the corner of the common room. It is a much nicer dartboard than what you've seen at the Rotten Goose. The lighting is soft.
It has actual darts in it and not daggers?
Yes, it has actual darts in it and not shuriken and pieces of glass from a mug.
Just chair leg.
A sharpened chair leg. The lighting is soft and warm. It creates a relaxing atmosphere. And as you come in, Kilo kind of motions to a seat for you to sit down. It is moderately crowded. There's a few folks in here. There's some people playing what looks to be a table game similar to chess. There's more people than that are reading and just enjoying a drink or having a quiet conversation. What would you like to do? Kilo motions to a table.
Just for questioning's sake, does Kilo in fact send off a courier once we get here?
No, he does not.
Okay.
We don't know that. So we can't question it.
I can't question.
Oh no! We can question it.
Oh, there's tons of questioning that can
My
happen.
character won't know, but I'll know.
Mira's
I
gonna-
guess Valen's probably a little self-conscious. Valen is not anywhere near to being an intellectual and probably stands out real bad in their very tall stature and very dark clothes. And
I would agree with that.
how's that going for them? What's the vibe check here?
Yeah, no, that's exactly probably correct. There's probably more than one or two glances your way. Like, what? I mean, there are a few other people in dark clothes, but I imagine Valen gives off a certain vibe anyway, so correct me if I'm wrong, but like, you're right. This isn't a fit. Like, you would expect to see Valen more in the Drunken Goose, right? Am I right? Maybe?
Probably. I mean,
Okay.
you don't stand out when you fit in, you know?
Right. But otherwise, yeah. Anybody else concerned?
Misha would like to order a glass of... Go ahead,
ahead.
Mira.
No, Mira was just gonna scan everything, but it sounds like you were gonna approach the bartenders, Barnes and Noble, and see if you could get something.
Some elderflower mead.
Okay.
And look
Not a
for
problem.
some druid... Browse the druid books, you know?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, what's the prices on the the menu here?
God.
Do they have any sweet baked goods here?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
So I
Do they make
can't
them in house?
sell them on.
No, do they make them in house?
I don't know, do they?
Can I roll for yes and?
Oh, on the... you want to see...
Yeah, the
oh,
oracle.
okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, roll. Yeah.
I got 9. I think
Well,
that's yes.
Yeah, that's yes, but. Yes, but.
Cupcakes.
But they're terrible?
But they're not as...
Yes, but they can't make very many.
But they're not as good as what you're used to. But
They're frozen.
they
in
don't appear.
thawed.
They don't appear. Yeah, there they go.
Like not
Frozen.
like definitely not like a other Barnes and Noble.
Hilarious.
Don't you mean Jones and Tucker?
Oh, that's
Look,
the
don't
bars.
bring the DFPD into this. We don't need
We
any
don't
cops.
need them here. We
No
don't need them
cops.
here right now. Okay. So, Kilo walks over and grabs a table. Misha, you go over to the bar to get a mead. Mirabelle, are you looking at like the little area of baked goods or?
Mira's gonna do a scan, and then when she realizes that they are not the caliber that she's used to, she's gonna follow.
They're not as big.
Yeah.
They're smaller. They're like, and like, there's not enough like cinnamon chips in like the cinnamon scone. Like,
Or, like, sprinkles on anything.
no, there's no
How
sprinkles.
dare.
On, no.
Gross.
Yeah. No, sprinkles aren't that. No, this isn't that kind of place.
Amateur hour.
It could be. If they just, didn't want to suck.
I don't think I heard the answer. What are the prices like in comparison to like, what you
They
would charge?
are compared to what?
What we would charge at our place at the Half Baked Tart
Oh, they are
for competition's sake.
they are slightly more expensive. They are maybe 4 or 5 coppers more. We'll say. Lumi, did you want to do something?
Yes, she's going to just get a tea, which, if anyone's watching, she just points to things
Oh, okay.
instead and says thank you, and kind of gets the very matter of fact to kind of get the point across, so she doesn't have to say anything else. And while that's going, because she's not really confident why she's there to begin with.
Right.
She's going to acknowledge that he's gotten the table and like say thank you. Go get essentially BRB. Go get the tea and then kind of look around to see if, because she may not have come here yet, see if there's any music, like sheet music she can peruse through, or if this is a purchase only type of establishment. If it is a peruse library scenario-ish, then she'll like grab a music book and like sit at the table with them.
Yeah, you can grab a book and just look through it. Sure.
Right.
The books do not appear to have any sort of prices associated with them. They just seem to be on the shelves.
It's going to be a borrow. She's just going to look through it, see if there's any song from this area that she should know, and then move on.
Right on. Okay.
She's casually listening to what's happening.
Okay. You all gather back at the table after you get your respective drinks and things. Kilo orders a shot of a whiskey, like a dwarvish whiskey, and waits for everyone to gather. And then once you do, he's like, all right, so did you have any further questions? We've got some, well, I think you have some ground to cover, and any way I can help, I will.
Is this a safe place to talk?
Yeah. And he purposefully picked a place that's sort of off to the side, away from other people. One of the larger tables with like a rounded booth. Just, we're not need to be talking loudly, but
You used to get into all sorts of ridiculous hijinks with the owners, and therefore you feel secure in talking about your current ridiculous hijinks?
No. I mean, I know them. I wouldn't say we've had hijinks.
Do you want to have hijinks?
No, I don't want to have hijinks. Matter of fact, no, I'm done with hijinks.
Well, maybe some nice mid-jinks, something to kind of spice up your week.
I don't know. No jinx. No jinx for me. I am done jinxing.
So
I leave that to other people that want to jinx.
Well, not my school of magic. That stuff comes back on you real hard.
So, you understand what you have.
Nope.
All right.
But you're telling us it's potentially dangerous.
Dangerous, can't break it.
Right now, it's nothing. It's just an item.
No, it's a possibility.
It's a
That's
possibility.
Different.
It's exactly what we're talking about right there.
Yeah. So
about
we
that
can
time,
either figure out whether this possibility is going to become a certainty, or more of a possibility, and
right,
who should be involved in that. Because that seems to be the only way to do anything with these, is to inevitably bring it to their august and terrible conclusion.
Yes, it appears to me like there is a decision to be made. And the door opens. As he says that, the door opens, and a 6-foot-tall furbolg deer fawn walks in. And you scan the room, and you see Kilo over in a corner booth with some other people that you don't know. An interesting mix of individuals. And he looks at you and motions you over. I think you're muted. I think you're muted, Courtney.
Oops. I wave and then I say, "One second." And I walk over to the bar and I get my usual glass of red
Okay.
from Noble. And once I get that out, I'll walk over.
Okay. All right.
Hi, Kilo. It was interesting. And as I walk up to the table, it's like, Kilo, so interesting to get that letter from you. I haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah.
Who are your friends?
Thank you for coming, Phoebe. These are some
Friends. We're friends.
fine citizens. Fine
We're
citizens.
new friends.
Of Draken
We're friends.
Falls.
We're friends now. We're friends with Kilo. We're friends of Kilo. We're friends.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I will let them introduce themselves. Everyone, this is Phoebe. I will explain why she's here in a minute.
Hi, Phoebe Leandry. Nice to meet you all.
Hello,
Hello,
Lumi.
Lumi. Lovely to meet you, Lumi.
Okay, so I'm Mirabella, and then this is my friend Valen, and then that's my friend Misha, and then you met Lumi, and then we have another friend Brox around here someplace, but she's probably back at the half-baked tart eating snacks, because she likes snacks. Can't blame her, snacks are good. It's nice to meet you.
I've been to the half-baked tart. Your scones are delicious.
Aren't they? Do you the lemon ones or the raspberry ones?
You know, it's a bit of a day-to-day thing. Sometimes I want something that's a little bit more sour.
That's what
It
I
also
said.
depends on which tea I'm drinking.
While they're
Absolutely.
talking, Valen pulls out a chair for Phoebe.
Aw.
Thank you so much. Sit down. Try to get comfortable with my knees. Try to, organize them under the table.
Are they the same height? Phoebe and
is
Valen?
4 inches taller.
Yeah,
Does-
so
Phoebe doesn't have horns, right? Just hair.
just hair, because she is a doe.
Okay. I just wanted a
ears.
mental picture of everything.
She does have the little ears. They kind of and her eyes are pretty much fully black. No pupil, no, just sclera. So maybe a little unsettling. But they're very nice. They're very kind.
Until they're not.
Misha will just toast you with her honey mead. Welcome.
Good choice. Oh, also, Phoebe also wears glasses with chains.
Oh, of course, yes. I don't know why, but I'd already seen that, right? It's a perfect match. Yes. All right, so I'm going to cut to it. Phoebe, how well, if I remember correctly, you are pretty well versed in Draconic history.
Well, yes. It's one of the most common things you learn when you start at the library here. You kind of have to know a lot about it.
How are you in Draconic artifacts?
It was one of my better classes. Getting to see something physical always helps.
If I say the name Viz Kadesh, does that ring a bell?
Does it?
Okay, you can make a roll of know something, which is a...
Don't you have an ability that's knowing things? Then?
Yeah, look at your playbook and see if there's something that would apply.
I don't remember
Always in the know when you need something special on a rare roll. Plus wits. You know where that person thing, 7 or 9. It'll take some time or something stands in the way of gaining the item.
No, this is pretty much just sheer
That's more
knowledge.
like an item then.
Yeah.
So this is basically just a wits roll, essentially.
Yeah, you roll and add your wits.
Okay. I went with plus 2 on that, so let's see what happens. Con baby. 6.
Okay. So that's a fail, but that's okay. So you get to take a point of experience because you failed the roll. And that means we'll just say for now, it doesn't ring a bell at all.
It's like that one thing that you definitely when she had a test, she had a flashcard of it, but now it's just
Yeah, I mean it might be one of the mountains where some of the dragons will sometimes go to breed sometimes, like it might be one of the mountain peaks, but you're not sure.
Yeah, she kind of says it's like, my real area of expertise in school was translation for Draconic and the varying Draconic languages and
All right, so let's just say these people have in their possession a very important artifact.
Ooh, how fascinating.
We need to discuss said artifact. You're here to listen in on this. We'll talk about, depending on what they decide, I may want you to go with them.
But,
then he just looks around at everybody.
Kind of
Valen would like to
deer in
stick
headlights.
their hand out and be like, wait, when did you call her?
What do you mean?
Because you
It
didn't
was
know that we had
probably
the
when
scroll
we-
rods of Viskadesh before we left. You didn't believe us, so did you just call her to hang out?
No. I told my assistant to send her over to the Inkwell. Just before we left.
Through the door?
We had a bit.
With
we have
the
a
person standing outside?
No, they were. Yes.
Valen is distinctly uncomfortable.
So, we're here to have a conversation. I believe these people may be in some fair amount of trouble. But they're going to need someone with some historical information at their reliable information.
Oh. Honestly, really touched that you thought of me, Kilo.
Well, you are one of the better... I mean, I like your work. There's a reason I have funded your library. There's a reason why your social project is going forward, is because we've already talked about this before. So let's not get into it.
So what?
She just gives him a look of just like, thank you.
Just so we're all on the same page here, Doc, what team are you on? Are you on team we should have a dragon army? Are you on team get all the pieces and scatter them to the four winds? Are
Valen's
you
just
on
gonna pat
team?
Phoebe on the shoulder and be like, don't worry, it's fine.
Are you on team like find these artifacts and then give them to your top men? Like what are we doing here?
I am of the opinion that you have the artifact. It's your decision how you want to proceed. I will try to advise you.
Hang on. Back up a little bit, because if it was our decision and we were deciding how to proceed, then we would have invited other people, but you seem to want to take a little bit of ownership without taking any responsibility, and honestly, that's kind of crap. So the least you can do is tell me where you fall on this spectrum.
What you have, if you have what I think you have, needs to not join. It is in the negative of we don't need a dragon army.
Okay. Alright. Great. So, we've got that established. Now, moving further on, given that allegedly, hypothetically, potentially, it hasn't been proven, you may or may not have used to do stuff like this, what would you, in your potential, hypothetical, alleged expertise, would want to see done with this and or the other things if we find them?
So there's a part of me that wants historically for all these pieces of this to come together and be protected. There is a bigger part of me, a more realistic, older part of me, that wants to see these things scattered, destroyed if they can be destroyed. So I am torn.
You told us that destroying them was a big old bad idea.
That's why I said if they can be destroyed.
Okay, but if we scatter them, then we don't know where they are, and other people can find them.
Like I said, I'm of two minds. That's why I am of the opinion they need to be gathered and protected.
So, like...
But I am not going to take this away from you. This is yours. You have to decide what you're going to deal with it. How you're going to deal with it.
Alright, so you want to do like a split custody thing? Like you see them on Wednesday nights from like 7 to 9, and then every other weekend, and then maybe like alternating holidays, or like...
Look, it comes down to a couple things. You could potentially make a lot of money with this item. Let's cut to the chase. You could make a lot of money. You could do whatever you wanted with that money. Whatever. I could arrange for you to sell that item and for it to be gone. Or
Gone like good gone, or gone like who knows gone?
gone as in protected.
Mira's eyes get a little wide, and she kind of like glazes over a little bit, and you know, anybody who's known her for more than 10 minutes absolutely knows where that thought process is headed.
No questions asked?
Well, I'm not saying that. I imagine there will be questions from anyone, but I can reach out to some contacts. But if you want to pursue your own course of action with this item, if you want to find the other parts of it, that's up to you as well. I can try to help you. I believe Phoebe could help you. If this item is all by itself in this big lonely world, then there is no problem. What you have are two well-carved sticks. But if there are the other items out there, then it is a potential problem for everyone. Again, we are relying on folklore and history to guide us here.
And the fact that someone broke into our house to steal this from us.
Someone broke into your house?
Don't worry about it.
yeah.
We'll fill you in later.
Terrible.
You don't have any opinions on Councilmember Nout, do you?
Nout. He kind of stops
Yeah.
and thinks for a minute. Now that you mention it, no. Why?
For clarification for Phoebe, explain council member now. My brain is...
No, that's
Sure.
fine.
Phoebe likely wouldn't know much other than he is a councilman. Councilman Nout, however, has been running a faction of the Thieves Guild, and is responsible for the people that broke into our house because we stole this from them.
What's his platform on the council? Like, is he for
We have
social
no clue.
reform, or is he not?
No clue.
Okay, we haven't.
So,
Phoebe's a public servant, so she might know.
yeah.
I mean,
For it. Roll.
Honestly, I request that we all do a know something roll, just to try to establish what we have about Councilmember Nout, because
Sure.
I feel like we would have something.
Yeah, and I mean, I can, that's fine. That's fine. We can do that. Or, I think,
I got a 5. I didn't.
Brian,
yeah,
how high up is Councilman now?
a
Would he
councilman.
Diplomatic, like, from other areas, or is he strictly, like, no one knows him outside of the city?
Probably no one knows him outside the city.
Okay, then I'm not gonna roll, because I wouldn't know.
Right.
I
This
got
would-
a 4. Valen has
Yeah,
a 4.
this would be the equivalent of someone that works with other councilmen to make rules and jurisdictional, like what buildings can go where and what trade agreements get worked out with other merchants, that sort of thing.
I rolled a 9
Okay.
to know mostly about like his leanings. Like, is he for the social projects, like that what she's doing, that what Phoebe's doing?
Good deal. A 9.
Is he someone she would have gone to for funding, or to like get her projects through?
Well, no, I think you would have gone to as many as you could. You would not have heard back from that office.
Well then, then when Phoebe hears the words "Councilman Nout," her little dear lips purse.
Okay.
She brings her wine up to her face.
I rolled an 8.
Hey.
Hey.
What would you know about Councilman Nout? I'm going to roll in the word wall.
I was just going to say, word wall time?
Yeah,
I'm
go ahead and
here
give
for
me a
that.
roll. I have an idea, but
Word wall. Let's see. Let's use these two. We'll get some
What did
extra mirror
Misha get?
dice going on.
So you want the adjective or the noun?
Ooh. I'm a cheat and pick.
Oh, cheater.
I look. I'm invoking birthday rights.
Oh, okay, granted.
I'm gonna go with my 87 for the noun.
Okay.
Because mission is fun. There's a bunch of different meanings we can throw in there.
So then that leaves me with the adjective pink.
Bunk.
No.
A pink mission?
Oh
Is that-
no!
wait a
he's
minute,
after
wait a
the
minute.
Halfling Mafia.
Is that the name of one of the books in the romance section?
No. He's trying to take down the Halfling Mafia.
Or
He got voted in on the rumor of the Halfling Mafia, and now
Oh,
we're
I
running
don't-
the Halfling Mafia.
no, because I don't think the Halfling Mafia is that established yet. I don't know about that. Mal, you're cooking something. I can see the cooking fumes.
Well, okay, so mission can either be like a thing you're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a mission can also be like an aid station,
Plan.
like
Yeah,
a mission,
Sure.
Like a soup kitchen.
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And he's a councilman.
Mm-hmm.
And missions usually only show up in like disadvantaged sections.
Yes.
And when they're religious, they tend to be like legit.
Okay.
But when they're from the government, they tend to be performative.
Okay.
So now my brain is cooking up some sort of thing where he's like coming up with like
Oh,
he won't fund your library because he is using his performative actions to designate areas as being more impoverished so that he can turn them around and gentrify them. And have all the money wind up in his pocket.
Whereas what I'm
He's
doing
connected.
that's perfect for
Whereas he
what I
knows
have.
what
in mind.
I'm doing is actively serving the community to do what they can do for themselves without having to have all of these other people come in and do it for them.
Pink, though.
We can roll again if pink isn't working because I like where you're going.
Well, what if you swap the numbers around for pink? I don't know what it was.
I had a 56. So 56 noun is charm, so a charm mission. We could go with that.
Oh, I was saying 65 if you like. swap the
To bounce
numbers around.
those around. That's a stolen mission, which also works pretty well. Well, so I like this. We've established that Councilman Nout is
a shady real estate mogul.
is pretty shady, which
Maybe
is
he's-
appropriate for what I have planned. So it fits.
Maybe
just
he's
fine.
stealing what were previously actually well-serving missions to
Okay.
put in his own spin on things. From my
Okay.
purely outside perspective, just
Uh-huh.
trying to
Mm-hmm.
fit the pieces into the block.
He murdered a religious council member to take their seat because they already had a connection. He literally stole missions.
Okay. Oh. Sure. Okay. You guys don't know that, but that is totally. We can go that route.
Well, we at least know that his mission, or
We love intrigue.
Mira at least
Yes.
know that the missions are shady.
There's something. Yeah, there's definitely something shady with what's going on. So, real quick, let's put a pause on Councilman Nout. I think we've got enough. If more comes up, let's feel free to we can add to that and build that into the story. Absolutely. But I'm looking at the time, so I want to, while you guys are having this conversation about Councilman Nout, Valen, I think
Okay.
you of everyone would notice this. Given what's going on in your character, you notice a large half-orc enter the Inkstone. You didn't necessarily fit the vibe. He's 180% does not fit the vibe.
Do I know him?
No. You've not seen him before. He is tall. He's probably about 6'6". Muscles, has greenish skin, bald head. He wearing a breastplate with scale armor and thick leather leggings. He has a mace on his hip and a great axe on his back. And he steps into the Inkstone and looks around in a practiced, measured glance of the room that you instantly recognize as something you would do. He then he looks over his shoulder and nods and steps to the side, and another figure enters in behind him. And this is a human in her mid-20s, long black hair. She is wearing loose clothing, like a loose blouse of dark purple and black and red, a very long, ornate purple skirt, and tall black boots with silver intricate designs on the boots. And she has a twirling some twisting scars on the side, not scars, tattoos on the side of her face that disappear on her jawline and then disappear down her neck underneath her blouse. And
Am I getting the vibe that this is her bodyguard?
yes. Okay. And she walks in and looks right over at your table. And then behind her comes a human and a satyr in black, dark, nondescript clothing and stand behind her. And it is just obvious to you, Valen, that she's looking right at you, looking at her.
Do I know any of those people?
No.
Do I notice that Valen is looking at them? That she's
Sure.
that they are.
Sure. I think so. Sure.
Valen's been the main
Specifically
person.
at Valen, or are they looking at the table as a whole?
It's in a way that they've looked at the table and they see you looking at them and they're looking at you. And it's just this moment before I'm letting everyone know you can react if you want or do something. Things are going to continue, but there is a moment.
We're just having a staring contest.
There's a
across
bit of a tense moment as you guys lock eyes.
I just Phoebe like
I
looks
really want to
notices
have
that
Valen
Val
put
is
their feet up on the table.
You're going what? I
It's
didn't.
like I'm here. Have Valen put their feet up on the table.
Oh, just gonna
like,
lean back and put the feet
I'm
up?
here. I don't know what you're doing here, but I'm here.
oh heavens. Oh wow.
So with Phoebe's exclamation, you all can look over and see that pair.
My friends?
And we're going to take a break. Do
Mirabella.
you want to take a quick break? Let's do like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. What are we up for? 10? Perfect. 10-minute break. Take a break. We will be back momentarily. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
I think we're live. Yes, we're live. Oh my gosh. Took me a minute. Hello, come in. Somebody give me a mic check.
Check.
Hello? Okay,
check.
awesome, cool. It was
One,
awfully
two,
quiet for a minute. I was concerned.
3, 4.
Hello, everyone. Hope you had a good break.
Secret tunnel.
I'm very happy to report that the cameras are still all lined up because technically there might have been a small mistake on my part during the break that we don't have to fix in post. So I'm delighted by that. So, jumping right in. You, Valen, and then by default, Phoebe, have seen this group come into the Inkstone. Everyone on the table can react. Other people in the Inkstone have started, are looking over. This is an entrance with a capital E. Feel free to react, but as you react, they don't just stand there. They will be moving towards you. So is there any initial things as everybody looks over? Is there anything anybody wants to say or do?
Oh, how delightful. This evening's performers have finally arrived.
Mira's going to look around at how the crowd is reacting to them.
Oh.
Mira doesn't know who they are.
What the,
Well,
this group would be completely fine walking into the Rotten Goose, but this is the equivalent of special ops guys walking into a Starbucks.
Right, but
Okay.
Is it like a Starbucks in Texas where everybody's like, "Woo, support the troops," or is this a Starbucks in Portland, Oregon, where they're all hippies sitting around going?
This is a Starbucks full of scholars and writers and performers.
Portland.
We're gonna go with Portland,
They can
maybe
still
LA,
go either way.
maybe LA.
Okay.
It's hey,
Are there any Mira
sounds
specifically looking for really recognition or
No,
really big emotional reactions?
no big
It's what
emotion,
she-
just uncomfortableness. What? Who
Just
are
a
these people?
general.
Well,
So the vibe is that because we had a staring contest, and I called their bluff by putting my feet up on the table, they're now approaching us.
Yes. Well, they may or
valid.
may or
Great
may
job.
not. They may or may not be approaching you because you put your feet on the table, but they are approaching you.
Okay.
Before they do so, the woman looks at the half-orc and nods, and the half-orc motions to the two other men, the human and the satyr. They go back outside, and then the woman leads, walking over to your table with the half-orc behind her. And she comes sort of gliding over.
Oh, so she's the dangerous one.
She's the tactician. She's the one calling
She's
the
in
shots.
charge.
Did someone say shots?
So if there's no actions, she will come over to the table.
Is she pretty?
Yeah, she's attractive.
Someone's got a crush. Ooh.
Wearing black boots.
And
Look, if you also want to go on a date with a random NPC, I can be 2 for 2 with these setups. Let me stretch these.
Let's see what the vibe is first.
and here
If
we
I
go.
have to murder her later, it might be awkward.
Or it might be foreplay. Who knows?
Or good drama.
And so she comes up to our table
Yes.
and says,
She looks at all of you, makes sure that you all basically has your attention. And hello. I was wondering if I could have a word. And she doesn't wait too long. The half-orc just takes a chair from another table that's empty and puts it at your table. And she sort of glides into it and sits down next to Phoebe.
Lumi's very calm throughout this.
Okay.
This is
Misha's
she's
sipping
done
her
this
wine.
before.
Okay.
This happens every day.
Okay.
Fallon is just continuing to stare.
At which one?
The woman.
The woman? Okay.
Whose name we don't have.
Yeah, the half orc stands behind her and just sort of like takes a comfortable bodyguard pose. First of all, my apologies for intruding. The situation demands that I come talk to you. My name's Lyra. And I believe we have something to talk about.
You've said that like 8 times. Are you like actually leading up to something, or are you just practicing your openings? Because I'm here for either. I want to support you. I like supporting people. It's what I do. So like, just however you want to play this, just let me know.
So cut to the chase then.
Sure. If that's what's on your mind, let's do it.
Phoebe senses the tension. She leans over to Val and says, "Is there into your house?"
What? We couldn't hear that. I couldn't hear that.
She whispers, "Is this the person that broke into your house?"
Valen shakes their head and takes their feet down off of the table. Takes their head to Phoebe and then takes their feet down off the table. And they're going to say, "Ma'am, we don't know who you are, but it's a pleasure to meet you."
Well, thank you. It's interesting to meet all of you. So to the chase. You have something that I want. And that, well, we want, my employer wants. Yes. And I know you have it. And I would, I guess we could parlay about it and be civilized in such a civilized establishment.
Okay.
Lumi's
How much are we
going to take
talking?
out her instrument, and she's going to be very casually strumming, tuning with an open book in front of her with music while she engages with the conversation.
So you move to get your instrument, and
I'm not like it's like attached to me. It's not
Right.
like on anything.
It's
so
just,
she'll just
it's just the movement, and the half orc just sort of looks down at you and watches what you're doing, and then when he sees that you're just pulling out an instrument,
yeah,
he kind of just settles back in.
yeah, and it's not like in a case or anything. She'll pick like a smaller thing that's on her, and this is very casual. She's not trying to like interrupt the conversation or anything.
As far as how much, what would you like for it?
Well,
We
I
are
mean, it depends.
prepared to pay a sizable sum.
Well,
I
when
mean,
you
who
say
are you looking to have killed?
I'm sorry, what?
Is that not what we're talking about?
No, I honestly, OOC, I did not hear you.
Oh, no, Valen said, who were you looking to have killed?
Oh. What? Killed?
Is that not why you're here?
No, I'm here to parlay and broker a deal.
Yeah, that's usually what people do when they want somebody killed.
what is our friend the good doctor's reaction to all of this?
He has become very quiet and is I wouldn't say frozen. He's not as casual. He's definitely not as casual as Misha and Lumi are right now. He is hyper attentive. So would you like gold, gems? We could possibly broker something else. Do you want out of this city? Do you want travel? You have something that I want, and I am more than prepared to purchase it.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we necessarily have it, but I mean, we could probably definitely speak for it.
Oh, I'm sorry. And she looks directly at Misha and says, "You are so radiant this evening."
Well, there goes Valen's crush.
She'll just toast with her glass. Likewise, my dear.
It's the ficus, isn't it?
Do I need to be any more direct? And she'll look back at you, Mirabelle.
No, I mean, like, I'm not dumb. I'm mopping what you're spilling.
Oh, excellent.
I don't know why. See, here's the thing. We both represent people, right? And we both represent interests. And while I might be at liberty to have the parlay, I don't know if I'm at liberty to conclude the parlay. My pay grade might not be that high.
I'm sorry, who do you work for then? This one? And she motions at, oh my gosh, I totally spaced his name. Way to break
Kilo?
the mood. Yeah.
Ornis?
Kilo Ornis. She motions to him.
No. He's a librarian.
Well then, who should we talk to then? I was under the impression that you were your own organization.
Who should we be talking to?
Me. And she smiles. Gives you a very pleasant smile.
And who do you work for?
Someone interested in what you have.
And what do we have?
Let's not be vulgar. And she glances over at Misha again.
Well, so the problem is that we work for... I can't. I wish I could give them a name better than the people, but I mean, that's kind of it.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going. Okay, all right.
We,
At the term, we work for the people. You. I don't know who may notice this, but Phoebe's ears.
you know, like, especially the little people. Because, you know, somebody's got to stand up for the little guy, and they started actually...
How heroic.
Right? I was impressed.
Yes, that's wonderful.
There's like organizing out there and stuff, and like...
And what are the people going to do with what you possess? What did the people hope to do with such a thing?
I mean, I can't speak to what the little guys want, but, I mean, the last time there was a scuffle over this, the goose is still closed. And a dwarf or two has grown back some beard braids, from what I heard.
So... Oh, are we going to come to a transaction or not? Is there any interest at all?
We don't. Or are you going to act seriously?
Oh, I'm sorry. I did. What was that?
Oh, you are sorry. I didn't think you were. Can you get to the point? We're going around in circles.
Yes, the point. Yes, the point is we want to purchase what you have. Don't play that you don't have it, because we know you have it. It's here at this table. I don't need to be any more blunt. I don't think I do. And we want to try and do this civilized with what you would say everyone wins. we're more than prepared to provide a very generous sum for the item that would more than help the people or any of your missions or things you are trying to do. If you don't want, and we don't, and she leans back and like touches the arm of the half orc.
No, we see him. You don't have to like inadvertently threaten us with
The
your
half
muscle.
orc
Like
shorter than Valen.
While you're saying all that, she just looks at him, catches her breath, and comes back to you while you're finishing up. We are more than prepared to give you some time to think about this. Well, we'll give you 24 hours. We'll give you till tomorrow. And if you don't want to engage in some financial transaction, then, well, I'll just have to threaten you like I am right now. We're trying to do this the easy way.
Well, if threatening is the way about things, in the end, don't worry. And under her breath, I want to make a mystic roll because she likes these people. They have, like,
Moxie.
especially at the moment that Mira said for the people. That's when Phoebe was like, I know which side I'm choosing. So I want to roll a mystic roll for use magic.
Okay, what are you... Okay, so...
What I'm trying to do is say Tolkut and make the motion of just pushing a book back into its space on the shelf.
Uh-huh.
To push her back a couple inches in her chair.
Oh, okay.
So let's see if this works. 3.
Is that plus your mystic?
Yep.
Okay,
Oh,
So that was
so...
That's the lowest you can get. Oh no.
So before we go any further, I just want to remind, because this is a new... So this is a new game. We're new at this, and I want to remind you that you do have luck points.
Okay, I'm gonna roll again.
Well, no. So
the luck point means you automatically succeed, if I remember correctly.
the luck point simply means you automatically succeed. As much as I would like for you to use that 3, I'm going to say there are luck points. You can do with that what you will. So with a luck point, you can either not take damage or you can automatically succeed on a roll.
I'm gonna automatically succeed on this roll because I want this to work.
The other thing to remember is luck points they are the most precious, one of the most precious commodities in the game as far as like points. So you won't get that back for a long, like it'll take a while. So once you use them, they tend to be gone. But if now you are it's fully transparent.
But yes, I'm going to
Use a luck point.
take the luck point to say Tolkut.
Okay.
Which is Russian for push. Because in my mind, this is draconic magic.
Oh, I love it.
Because it makes sense for where she is.
I love it.
And she's not trying to hurt her. She's not trying to cause pressure. She's saying the word push.
Okay.
She's pushing her back a couple of inches in her chair.
Just in her seat.
With the motion of pushing a book into its place on a shelf.
Okay.
And so...
Go ahead.
And then she says, if that's all there is, you might want to give us our time to think.
Okay. So it takes effect. You see her like press back into the chair a little bit. And because you got a 12, like I'm even going to say this, the chair just scoots just like a millimeter, like just a little bit, just from the push of the energy. And she goes from smiling to like a dead look in her eyes, and she looks at you, and there's this moment where she doesn't say anything. People can take actions if they want. And
Lumi has now started humming, very, very quietly. Is like humming along, playing
Okay.
very quietly. To
Okay.
herself.
Okay. And then she just starts laughing. Okay. Is that how we feel then? You'd like some time?
She smiles.
Phoebe, when she makes a motion with her hands, would you like some time? Give me a know something roll, please. I don't normally ask for these because the system isn't designed for that, but I do think this is important. So, know something is
11.
okay. Part of her tattoo, you notice from your historical background, is part of a dragon cult sigil.
Do I know what the dragon cult is?
The dragon cult is supposedly not around anymore. The dragon cult was an ancient cult that followed and like worked with dragons and like worshipped dragons. And they sort of collapsed internally. Historically, it's unknown exactly what happened. Some historians believe they collapsed internally. Some believe that they was like an inner conflict between two differing opinions and they destroyed themselves. There's not a lot known about them except that they worship dragons and possibly worked with dragons.
Okay. She's going to take that in. But as a librarian, as a person who is learned and looks at these kind of sigils every day, especially in a place like Draken Falls, I would assume that Phoebe also knows people will often take symbols that they don't understand.
Sure.
And use them. And like they will often like, this is something like sometimes people will see it and take it for a new meaning. So to her, she sees it, and to her, it's both a symbol of an old dragon cult, but also possibly a symbol of someone who doesn't know what they've gotten themselves into.
Fantastic.
But she looks at it like directly. She looks at it directly, and then looks into Lyra's eyes, and then smiles with her teeth in that unsettling deer way.
Okay.
Just kind of like throwing it back in her face.
Okay, perfect. So more time then.
Sure. Rotten Goose this time tomorrow?
We'll be in touch. And she just gets up and steps away from the table, still facing you.
As she walks away...
no, she's not walking away yet. She's just stepped away and is facing the table.
As she's looming in a general retreatily fashion.
Okay, all right.
Whatever.
It could be important, so I just wanted to make sure.
Mira would like to take the opportunity to look over her and the muscle to see if she recognizes anything from any of their previous visitors. Livery, jewelry, red beads in hair, you know, things that mark them as being of a certain employ.
No roll needed. You see nothing of that.
Okay.
She will nod and give a gracious bow, a very graceful, gracious bow, and turn and head for the door. The half-orc stands there watching your table as she leaves for the door. There's a few beats, and then he will back away and then go out.
As soon as the door is shut.
And they leave.
Phoebe takes a big breath. I hope that was okay. I just really like you all, and she was very rude.
She was awful! She was such a bitch!
Does anybody know what those tattoos were?
Oh,
If that
Tacky! They were tacky.
you're
no, I
not
mean,
wrong.
did they because if that wasn't weird, bad juju, I don't know what is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could
Yeah.
you tell me your name one more time? I'm terrible with names.
Hi, I'm Misha.
Misha, and she holds out her hand in a very lovely kind of way, and she shakes it. It's like, that tattoo is actually quite an old symbol, and she gets into teacher mode. It's quite an old symbol of an ancient dragon cult that seemed to take their energy from the dragons or worked their magic with them. It's quite an interesting story in and of itself, but there are countless stories about how they ended up becoming no more due to either infighting or losing the dragon's favor. Pick your myth. There are a dozen of them. But ultimately, I've seen them before in books, in passages, learned areas when the children are learning about dragon falls. But ultimately, I am reticent to say whether or not they're actually a part of the dragon cult of old, or if they're some part of some new group that is trying to use it to further their own devices. We've seen that before in tons of different old religious groups and cultish groups over the years. Someone repurposes them, gentrifies them, uses them for their own machinations to get something further along. So, it's an interesting conundrum.
So the minute that Phoebe says dragon cult, Mira's eyes are going to flick to Kilo.
Mm-hmm. Right with you.
She's just going to kind of like look at him while she's letting what Phoebe's saying percolate through her head. When Phoebe finishes, Mira's going to take a second and then be like, sounds like there's a really good chance that their headquarters might be in the mountains to the northwest, huh, Doc?
Yeah. Sure. Absolutely. They could also be headquartered other places, but it sounds like, yeah.
You know
He just
what
looks
I'm
and
getting
nods at you. And he is finishing his drink.
at. Okay, so, how do people carry magical artifacts around the city without getting detected all the time? Is that a thing you can help us out with?
I have an idea.
What you got, friend?
When a druid shapeshifts, all of their artifacts become invisible, but with them. Like their clothing, their backpack, they go into animal form, they don't wear a backpack or a quiver of arrows. So there'll be a certain amount of anonymity in going into a shapeshifted form that might hide this artifact from some eyes.
Would that also remove its, like, people being able to detect that it's magical?
I'm not absolutely certain about that.
Because that would still make you a target. It'd be harder for them to get it away from you, but... That's a good idea, though. That's a good thing we should keep in our back pocket. That's good thinking. I like that.
Think about how we can move this secretly. Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Did anybody get the vibe that she doesn't work for Carson now?
Okay.
Well, we don't want to parlay with.
Oh no, I'm just saying, are we dealing with two separate groups, or are they the same group?
No, I think they're two separate groups, because I didn't see anything that marked any of them as being of Nouts. And if Phoebe saw, like, dragony stuff on them, that makes sense, because, like, remember what the doc was saying about how the rods of Ishkadesh, and he tried to get a whole army, like, that guy tried to get a whole army of dragons, and, like, splintered off the dragon cult. and he was trying to use this and like the other stuff to control dragons, and then he just disappeared in the mountains, never heard from again, kind of sort of thing. So
Kilo just points at you and nods. I'm not aware that any sort of cult. Like, I don't know if we're looking at an actual dragon cult. I think Phoebe may be onto something, that maybe they found the symbol and they think it's neat. I don't know, but they're working with someone. I have a hard time believing that the whole dragon cult would be back.
Well, until we know their until we know their intentions, we don't want to just sell it to them and hope for the best. Yeah? Are we agreed with that as a party?
They want it all really bad.
Do you want to? Yeah, we want to just give it up and wash our hands of it and go our own way.
I have an idea. It's probably a bad idea.
Oh, good. I love it.
I will say, with people who use old dragon cults, either way, if you have something that they want, I'd recommend against giving it to them, because not much of the dragon cult's history is good, nor helpful to the people.
Okay. So my bad idea is we have a time and a day that we're meeting these people, hypothetically, at the Rotten Goose, correct?
they're probably gonna show up
They also
early
gave the
'cause
impression they're just going to show up. They're going to find
Right.
us.
Yeah.
Within the next 24 hours, that's all we know.
Yeah, I don't think they're actually going to listen to my suggestion, because they want to try to be the more powerful appearing people, so they're just going to show up whenever.
So hypothetically, they're going to show up. What if we invite Carson out and his crew to show up at round about the same time?
Pit our enemies against each other?
Sure, why not? We pick the time and the place, we hang out there, we invite both parties, have them deal it. And maybe the city guard while we're at it.
I can play.
Meantime, what do we do with said precious commodity? We need some way to hide this, to cloak it magically, and keep it safe.
Would I know of anybody in the Thieves Guild that would know of that kind of, like, cloaking magic?
That would be... I think that's a know something roll.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, that's a know something roll for sure. Well, you...
That is a 10.
Nice. Okay, so, good.
Comes with its own complications.
With the 10, possibly not. Let's see.
Oh, I just meant me going into the Thieves Guild.
Yes,
with
no,
all the
that's
that's the complication. That's not the role.
Yeah, you think that you know that you could talk to Sunny, and Sunny would probably know someone for sure, and you yourself don't know anyone, but yeah, you know that Sunny, you could talk to Sunny, and Sunny would be able to help you with that.
I don't necessarily want to talk to Sunny. Is there something else that I could talk to? Like a leader or something?
Yeah. Yeah, like someone above Sunny?
Yeah, for sure.
Sure, yeah. You could talk to them. It might be a little tense, but you could talk to them. they might want that. You know, from being in the Thieves Guild, that nothing's for free, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's like, that might as well be above the door to the Thieves Guild. Nothing for free. Like, there's
That's the motto.
Yeah, that's the motto. There's going to have to be some give and take if you're going to go talk to somebody about this. But you know somebody above Sunny who you could talk to get that figured out.
Hypothetically, could one of those people be one of my parents?
Ooh.
Because we don't know who my parents are yet.
Hypothetically. Wow. Okay. That's a nice curveball. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Talk to my parents. That's the
Drama.
That'll go. That's awesome.
Oh, baby.
The only bad thing I could see is somebody in the Thieves Guild finds out you knew where this artifact was, and you didn't tell them, and you sold it off to somebody else or hid it.
I feel like
Your
that's kind
head's-
of par for the course with the Thieves Guild, though. Like, you get stuff, you hawk it, you give a certain percentage back to the guild, and you're good. Nobody cares.
Yeah, that's the important part, the percentage. That would be the important part in that equation.
Also, I want to talk to leadership about this Karsa Nout guy, because, like,
Oh,
what the hell are they
right,
thinking?
right.
I am going to run to the restroom really
Oh,
fast.
yeah, you're fine.
No worries.
Um,
Is there any? Does anybody else have any other leads on who we could contact about magic cloaking? Or
I could reach out. There's people that I have worked with, some mages. I could find out information and tell you. I try to help out that way, I guess.
Who would you set us up with to sell this, Kilo?
A woman by the name of Lyda. They're good people. They would probably be able to. I mean, I can't speak for them. I could, if you want to try and meet, we could set that up.
Do you think she'd give us more resources
If
if we weren't interested in selling?
like resources like more people or a place to put it, or like what are you talking about?
Sure.
If given, I mean, I can't speak for her, but I would say she would probably be interested.
Let me ask this question. Do you think that conversation would go better than this one that we just had?
Oh, there'd yeah, there'd be less tension, that's for sure.
I mean, that's kind of all I'm looking at this point. Something less stressful than that.
Yeah, I can arrange that probably for tomorrow. I have to contact some people.
just a point of order, because I believe in our test play where we originally got these, we actually said that the scroll rods could not be tracked, but the scroll itself could.
Cool.
Thing up that we've been discussing, but like I was just like, wait a damn minute.
I didn't remember that.
I forget why we checked that, but we did.
Oh, I believe
The
you.
mag-
I believe you. There's
Because the magic of the scroll rods is latent. That's why.
yes, that's right. I do remember that now. But there were things that could be yes. Yes.
So we trashed the scroll. We don't have a problem with that anymore. Besides, they don't really need the instruction manual, right? They didn't ask for that specifically. They didn't technically ask for anything specifically, which was kind of irritating.
No,
True,
but they asked
true.
for things non-specifically, and that's actually more irritating.
I agree.
Yeah, and they kept looking at me.
They spoke like lawyers.
No, they spoke like priests. And I am rapidly losing my taste for both politics and religion the longer this goes on.
Oh. You and I could have many drinks.
Okay, so, on that note, what are your plans with what you plan to do? Do you think you're safe? Do you want help with that? Oh, God, why am I saying that? Like, do you feel like you need someplace to stay? Oh, that burns. And do you need assistance? Or do you want to take this on? You think you got this? I'm just checking the temperature of the table.
I thought we were doing pretty well until we walked into your office this afternoon.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, once we found out the true value and had more knowledge about what these actually are, and all of a sudden they became a little bit more important and apparently a little bit more desired by certain parties. That has put us in a more precarious place.
What if we just set up a bidding war? If they fight it out, that's fine. It's not our problem. But
Well, what if they just decide that we're the easiest target and they can take what they want? Why fight each other when they can take us out?
because
I'm
each
just-
of them want it. If they take us out, they're still going to have to fight the other 3 people. Or 4, if we invite the librarian's friend.
Do you mean me?
No, I was talking about Kilo.
Nah, yeah, talking about me.
Oh.
Hey.
He takes another drink.
So, you know how all these people have been pretty keeping it on the down low for the most part? Like, there's no real overt shows of force. Like, they posted people at the door to keep more people from coming in. So they're interested in crowd control, right?
Yes.
It seems like they're not interested in letting the average person get involved in this kerfuffle. Is that a read that I'm getting?
Yeah,
that seem-
more or less.
Okay. You guys heard about that awful tragedy that happened over in the over by the Goose, right? You guys heard about that fire?
Courtney, you definitely would have heard that there was some sort of like fire and riot that happened over in another section of town.
Oh, yes.
But, yeah, that was pretty. It was a pretty bad night over there.
Yes, I remember. I remember seeing the crowds running.
And you remember how we were going to go check on that candle merchant, like our friend, and make sure that everybody was okay?
Yes.
I'm sure there's a lot of people over there that could use some help. So maybe instead of sitting around worrying about what we're going to do off in a room by ourselves, we spend our time giving back to our community. Make contact with the guards, see if there's any like mutual aid that we can provide. Maybe organize some sort of large area where the whole neighborhood can gather. all of the common people, and we can hand out like sandwiches and like, you know, just kind of surround ourselves with our neighbors.
I can play.
Yeah, like a Rotten Goose benefit concert. Relief mission.
Even more than that, just something to bring, you know, the neighborhood together and really get the people around us.
Party.
Sure, whatever resources we've got. Just something so that we can really immerse ourselves. Maybe even lose ourselves in the crowd.
Oh, Phoebe gets it. Oh!
People love baked goods.
People love baked goods. And who better to share baked goods with the people than the little guys? We know what it's like to get stepped on.
That sounds...
So, you're gonna try to put all this together in 24 hours?
Well, I mean, I
Or
bet
more
it's
like 12.
still chaos over there. We could probably just go start gathering people and making sure everybody's okay and going door to door and just organizing. I don't think we actually even really need any resources. Just somebody to be over there making sure that the community's interacting nicely and everybody's getting on and talking to each other nice.
Oh,
Because, you know, everybody's got resources. Sometimes they just need an organizer.
I look over at Kilo and I'm like, you have no idea the power of the community voice tree.
Okay.
And besides, if anything gets really gnarly, I bet we could run over to some of Councilman Nout's missions and pick up some supplies. So that way he'll have a vested interest in how this is going too. Because if anything happens to an organization relief effort where his supplies are involved, gosh, that would make it look really bad, wouldn't it? We better do our best to make sure that that doesn't happen.
All right, so
Yes,
Phoebe, you guys seem to like each other. Phoebe, you're okay with working on this?
Phoebe holds out her hand to shake to Mirabella. I am more than willing to help the people.
The people would love to have you. Mira just like slaps Phoebe's hands and just shakes it. Itty tiny little halfling shake.
With her giant, like long
Giant furball paws, like-
hand.
Like the whole hand disappears in the.
It's like I grab your arm, basically, with my whole hand. Friendship.
Great.
Friendship before birthday.
Great. I'm gonna go. I'll talk to my friend. I'll be in touch. Phoebe, good luck. And, you know how to find me.
Always.
He's gonna kind of get up, and I wish you all the best of luck. If you want to talk to my friend, let me know.
Yeah, I think we do.
Go ahead, Katie.
Does he have his pipe?
Yes.
Or how many drinks did he have? Which vice is he currently on?
Which vice?
Yeah, which of those two things is he currently working on?
Oh, he's working on drinking. He finished his probably fourth drink, and he's...
Right, so then she'll say, too much is bad for you. Goodbye!
Yeah. Goodbye. He will take his leave, leaving you all at the table.
And then she will look at the rest of the group and go, people trying to kill us thing. Phoebe?
Huh?
She's just waiting for you all to explain.
Well, you know about our apartment getting ransacked.
Yes. You mentioned that.
And And you notice the fine people who just threatened us moments ago.
Yes, that is true. The context clues are connecting.
Violet, would you like to fill in? Any
Well,
missing dots?
I mean, I kill people for a living.
Oh! Sure, who's a healer? She does the opposite.
Those were
Yes.
dots.
Healer.
Alan, good job.
Lumi's getting followed. We don't know why yet.
Oh, that's upsetting.
And then Lumi will point to Misha and say, "Dragon lore."
Well, I think they're after our dragon lore.
Oh, yes, what is this item?
So that Viscadesh character that the doc and I had mentioned, he was a mage, and he created this magical mechanism that could control dragons, like an army's worth.
Oh,
If it could be replicated.
3 artifacts that must be brought together.
Right. And so we found this really fancy decorated scroll. And like the top of it was like all carved and pretty. Like the rods were all carved and pretty and nice. And then there was a scroll between it and Draconic that had like words on it, and we translated it, and it turned out to be the instructions. And we were like, oh, well, that's a neat bit of, ephemera. But then, we looked at it closer, and it turns out that the rods aren't just scroll rods. They're actually spell rods. They're part of the mechanism for this. Our best guess is that they're like the batteries. They're entirely latent, unless they're hooked in correctly to the rest of this thing, following the instructions on the sheet.
My brain
oh, and
just
with
pictured
everything
some,
that's
like,
about to
vortex
happen
flow.
this year. Oh. Uh-oh.
Right.
But the dragons are
Do you have any idea how long it's been?
They shouldn't be forced to do things they don't want to do.
Theoretically.
Well, they're
However,
sentient,
magically,
therefore they can make decisions.
and
Yeah.
that decision could be influenced by magic.
Well, most decisions can be
Magical
influenced by magic.
Thus is the danger. Do you have any idea how long it's been since Skokol was seen in these parts?
Oh, you're telling me. The day that happened, I thought everyone in the library was going to collapse right onto the floor. But yes,
I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence that these have shown up at the same time
see where you're coming
as
from.
these. All the more reason for us to make sure they don't fall into the wrong hands.
Exactly. Yes. Even more now.
Hands that want to kill us.
Well, it's definitely something worth killing over.
Thank you. I might need another drink.
Oh, myself too.
It'll
Can I have
kill over
another
a
glass
lot
of wine,
less.
please, Noble?
I'm not really sure where we have that's safe until that party happens tomorrow.
Well,
That's why I was saying it should just be an organizing effort that we just start now. Because if the sooner that we can rally, like, the people that they don't want to get involved around us, is the sooner that we have those allies. Honestly, because if everything goes the way I'm hoping it goes, this is going to be unifying for everybody and not just a bunch of people and us.
right.
So how do we keep them safe in the meantime?
Well, that's
Yeah,
why I had asked Kilo if he had any way to
Right. And it seems, at least for a little while, we're on our own until we hear back from his friend.
Well, the library is pretty secure. Only members of the scribal order can open it. And at this point in time, Kilo is the only person who knows that I'm aware that you exist.
Yes.
And unfortunately, my library is quite unvisited. Well, fortunately for the situation at hand, unfortunately for the fact that I would like for people to come and visit the library.
Yes.
It's at the old Fang's Respite.
That's not a bad
Is that nearby?
thought.
Yes, it's not too far from the Rotten Goose, actually.
It'd be really easy for somebody from, like, say, the Surveyors Guild to find us if we were to send them a message and be like, hey, do you guys have any way of smuggling magical artifacts undetected through the city? Because let's face it, if anybody in this town can do it, it's the people who have a house where the outside looks like it's being together by termites holding hands, as Valen put it, and the inside looks like a museum.
Well, we do have a friend on the inside there that we've talked to that knows something about this.
You should definitely go talk to them. I'm sure they would love to hear from you.
Well, it's just kind of an us thing, not just
Oh
about
no,
you.
I think we should definitely do that, but we should find somewhere safe to put the scroll rods in the meantime.
So we go back to the library.
Yes.
And we come up with a plan. We get a message to the DSG.
I think we have them meet us at the library, because we don't want to walk around with this thing.
No, we do not. And then, while we're waiting, we can organize some legitimate relief efforts, because I mean, we kind of might have a responsibility to help.
Someone's in trouble.
Yeah.
So, library?
Library.
Let me show you the way. Hey,
And
down
with-
the rest of my wine.
And with that, we're going to pause. We're going to
There's
wrap it up.
one thing though
Yes.
that I wanted to add, but I couldn't do it because everyone jumped real fast.
Oh,
and
no,
I
no.
figured it could wait because
Go.
it's so casual. So I saw that coming. I saw them coming in, and she is very, very familiar with the type of people who require bodyguards and who hire bodyguards.
Okay.
So she kind of anticipated how that would go.
Okay.
So she spent that entire time playing and humming and creating a musical earworm into the bodyguard so that involuntarily he will hum the song along. So if we catch it just right, we will hear him coming.
Nice.
Perfection.
And I picked him because I figured she would know something's up if it was trying to cast on her.
Okay.
As opposed to, he is not looking for that kind of magic. Or that kind of, he's the bodyguard. So that is what I would like to have done during that entire exchange.
So all I'm going to have you do, I just want you to roll wits. I love it. I love it so much. So roll and add your wits.
And it can be as casual as you want. This doesn't have to be like he's in it constantly. It's just, man, this
right.
song is like really stuck in my head for some reason.
In a way, it was almost like I saw it coming and use magic, but we're just going to do the I saw it coming roll. Tell me what you get.
Bejeweled by Taylor Swift.
And it's wits, not
Yes.
appeal
Yeah.
or magic.
Right. Well, no. For I saw that coming, you roll plus wits
Oh yes,
because you were
8.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So here's what we're going to, this is how we're going to mechanically do this.
I'm so sorry for making it complicated.
No, this is great. So no, this is great. So you get to hold one action. You get to do one thing to be in the right place at the right time, or to have this take effect. So what I'm going to say is you need to make a note. You can basically play this card, right? You can play that card of, we heard him coming because he's humming this tune. Whenever you need it. Right?
Okay,
like,
so this
you'll
counts
get
as like
one,
a future.
like this is a future move to be like, even if he starts, well, I also will make a note so that we'll work it out. But let's just say mechanically, we're not going to worry about it too much mechanically. It's in play.
Right.
Yeah, you're pretty sure it worked. We'll leave it at that.
That's genius.
Mm-hmm.
And if I forget, you can be like, hey, we did that roll with I saw that coming, and we have to retro at that. It's like, so I'll try not to forget, but.
Cool. No, thank you.
Excellent.
I just didn't want to interrupt because she walked into the room and it was like, everyone was very excited about the interaction. I was like, this can wait.
Yeah. So you guys get up and you guys are heading to the library.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Okay. So we are going to close at that. Tamlin, library cliffhanger.
Nice.
All right. Well, that went well. Awesome. Thanks everybody for sticking around. My players are amazing. Everybody give yourself a round of applause. This was wonderful. Please come check out our Discord. The Discord link is down below. We chat on there every day. We have a separate section just for the Bake Shop Irregulars. We can also interact there or just in general chat. Doesn't matter. Come join us in Discord. We have a wiki in process that is being built that kind of will have all this information in one place. We'll look forward to getting that link out to people soon. We will be playing again on I think it's May 24th. Yes, May 24th. At same Wildest Plus time, same Wildest Plus channel. And then next Wednesday, there's a new podcast episode interview with Darkness Over New Orleans players. So thanks for being here. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to go around real quick. Everybody, let's start with Dr. Hip and go around real quick. Basically say your social media or anything you want to add at the end.
Hey, I'm Dr. Hip. Had a great time tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Aaron.
What Dr. Hip said. Only I'm
Cool.
Aaron, not Dr. Hip.
All right, Katie.
I'm Katie again. You can find me on all social medias at KZR Music. And this was awesome. Can't wait for next time.
Sweet. Courtney.
Hey, this is Courtney, aka the Court Couch, on all social media. Tonight was awesome, and I cannot wait for the next session.
Cool. Kirsten.
I am Vermidian or Vermidian K on most social media, but you can also find us in our Discord.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. We will see you next week. Bye. Keep shining,
Good
everybody.
night.